And looks like we are going here. All right. Okay, and we're gonna hit play there. Get our background music going. Certainly can let me know how the volume is out there. So a little bit of music as we usually do. I'll properly take care of and stuff like that. All right. So hi folks, Stephen here. So we're doing another one of these live discussions. I'm trying to preview this in here. I'll just make sure I got All right. Sorry, I think I figured out something that'll work. I have my secondary computer monitoring the. Let's see. Let me move the camera just slightly. I think. Okay. Anyway, I have my secondary computer. So if you have any questions, any comments, anything like that as we're doing this, go ahead and type those into the chat. I'll try to answer those. We'll be doing some, going over some of the Detective Pikachu merchandise that was announced earlier this week. I got some PR images from my PR person who kind of represents the Pokemon Company. Let's see here. I thought I put. Let's see. All right. Hope I didn't mess up the music too much there. Usually shows the ongoing time. Let's see. Sorry about that. I think I just accidentally restarted the music there because it wasn't showing the timeline on that. Anyway, so we're going to talk about the Detective Pikachu merchandise before I got sidetracked there, and we're also going to be doing a general Q&A, talk about what's coming up on the channel. Thanks for your patience there while I get this set up. But let's see. Oh, hey, I got a message here from, what is it, Booth VGC 2019. So this is someone who met me at Anaheim Regionals last month. Glad to have you there. Like I said, we're going to be talking about the Detective Pikachu merchandise, and we're going to be talking about what's coming up on the channel over the next month or so. In any case, so earlier this week, they announced some of the Detective Pikachu merchandise. Now, if you know the focus of the channel, you know that I'm probably looking forward to the, soundtrack to be announced. I'm guessing that's still being finalized and worked on and tidied up for the final movie. I'm hoping we'll find out something about that. My dream, of course, would be we get something from like one of the first couple movies for like Record Store Day in April. But right now, what they've announced some TCG products. They've announced some apparel items and some plushes and stuff like that. We're going to go over some of this and sort of talk about what we think of this. So I have queued up a few things here. Let's see. Screen share. There we go. All right. Application window. Here we go. All right. So let's start with some of the, let's see. General merchandise we got here. All right, so here's this first thing we got. Sorry that I have the kind of low-tech way to show these, but basically we've got the, let's see, photos up from my PR source. Let's see. So the first thing we've got here is this lunchbox, the Detective Pikachu lunchbox. Not sure how great the timing is on this one now that I think about it. Obviously, it's timed well with the movie, but sort of the problem you're going to run into is that school year started in the fall. So if this were like a July or August movie, that might work out a bit better. But I'm sure this will sell reasonably well. It's got this neat little brick wall texture. I think today it's interesting because it's got like this sort of semi-spray painted, but it's really worn off Pikachu in the bottom right. And let's see. Let's see. Yeah, seeing the little questions here. We'll get to the TCG stuff. I'm not sure if those. I assume those cards are going to be loaded on TCG, but I doubt many of them will be. super useful there, but we'll have to see what we get out there. I only have a few of them I can show you here. But in any case, you got that brick wall thing, so a very urban setting, got a neon sign for the Pokemon. Interestingly, it's branded with the trading card game. I just noticed that. It's not branded as a general Pokemon thing. So I guess they're trying to maybe sell it as like a dual-purpose store your cards there, but I usually have different recommendations for that. Look on the side there, what we can see is that there is a bunch of silhouette Detective Pikachu things on there, which is, I guess, kind of interesting. Kind of, like I said, they're going for a definite, very urban feel with all of this. And things like that. So we'll have to see what happens there. I got a decent handle. You know, lunch bags, when I was growing up, I always had either plastic or like a canvas, not canvas, but something a little better than that. You get an idea what I mean. Soft ones, because these metal ones, they kind of go in and out of style because people are always worried about, you know, hitting people with them or stuff like that. But that's about all I have to say on the lunchbox. So yeah, we got the first of our cards here. This is the Detective Pikachu card. 90 HP, not terrible for a basic. Let's see. Oh, and it's got a still from the movie apparently. You got the Detective Pikachu there with its hat, and otherwise standard. Now, by the way, just if you're newer to the trading card game, you cannot evolve this into any old Raichu, because a Raichu will only evolve from a regular Pikachu. So you wouldn't be able to evolve this into that unless they make a Detective Raichu card, but I'm guessing that's probably not in there. But in any case, it's got a 1 energy attack, Brilliant Deduction. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck and put one of them into your hand. Shuffle the other cards back into your deck. Let's see. So, kind of interesting. Potential starter card, I suppose. I mean, there's kind of better things. I'd really rather like have an option to refresh my hand or something like that. Retreat cost of 2. I don't know. That's a little higher. Pikachu is usually a 1 retreat cost, but I guess since this is a higher HP, so we'll see how this one comes about. Let's see. And let's see. They've got like at least 3 of these case file packs for these. You notice they've got sort of the spray painted like sign there, like you would see like it's like how they make the parking signs or the parking space stuff, is they have a stencil and they spray paint over it. So, you know, handicapped or, you know, compact car only, stuff like that. That's basically what they're doing in the bottom right-hand side. So, like I said, very much an urban-themed game. Again, we got that neon there. Let's see. So, let's see. We should have, I believe, an interior view. There we go, and there you can see. So it's got some nice little background art there. It looks like it's got, like, one specific to the movie, but there might be, it looks like there's definitely a coin there, a little Detective Pikachu hat coin there for the TCG, but it's also got a little background, or it looks like it might have another regular TCG pack there, but I can't tell off the top of my head. And you're definitely going to see a pattern with these, because the next thing we got is very fearsome looking Charizard GX. So let's see. And it's got some interesting stuff. Now, this is a GX, not an EX, because we're in that region of the trading card game. And so the GX is a stage 2, so you will need to evolve it in some way, shape, or form. Let's see. White 1 Fire Energy, Raging Destruction. Top 8 cards of your deck. Any numbers of Fire Energy cards testing this Pokemon potentially useful. Steam Artillery 200 for 5 energy. Relatively expensive, but I'm guessing you're going to have to leverage probably that first attack and probably something else too, because otherwise that's a very expensive attack. Excuse me. And then we got the GX deck, as all GX can do. 250 damage for 5 energy, and discard an energy from each of your opponent's Pokemon. Relatively high retreat cost, but if you've seen the trailer, you know that there's a fairly significant Charizard scene in there where Detective Pikachu has to go toe-to-toe with it or whatever, stuff like that. So not a huge surprise to see this card. 250 HP, not terrible, but yep, no resistance. Sometimes Charizard will have a fighting resistance. This one doesn't. Water weakness is pretty standard. See where that one goes. And of course, it has it. Now, this one looks a lot bigger, probably just because in part because the art's bigger. It's got a bigger cutout window on that for the Charizard GX case file. And then let's see, it doesn't show us the inside. Interesting, all these case files are a little bit different in terms of their packaging, which is kind of interesting. So now we've got Greninja GX. Again, it's in a little bit different packaging style. So it's got a very wide cutout there with a lot of different things. I think this is sort of the deluxe one they're trying to sell into the movie. It's really nice that they're doing these TCG type things in there. Just because I think I really like that, because with the first couple of movies they did these. The tie-ins you would sort of get. You would get those when you would go to the movie theater. You would get a promo card, and they may still well do that for this. We'll have to see what happens if they give out maybe that card we just saw there. They give out a version of that with the movie. But they would also have these sort of cards that were tied directly to the movie. Here they're trying to, it seems, to sort of put it all together and tie it directly into the trading card game. It remains to be seen. As far as I know, these cards will be tournament legal. But, these specialty cards often aren't all that great, other than maybe one or two. But we'll have to see what happens. It'll be very, very interesting, I think, to see some of these. You never know. Let's see. And then there's the Greninja GX, 230 HP. Again, this is a Stage 2. It's a fully evolved starter. Again, they're using the art style from the movie there. And then let's see what they got. The ability, once you return this Pokemon as the last card in your hand, you may play it onto your bench. So you can basically get around the normal evolution rules that way. And if you do, so it's not totally unlike Archie's Ace in the Hole, but you got to get your hand down to that many cards. In any case, 2 energy Mist Slash isn't affected by weakness, resistance, or any of their effects. So 2 energy for 130 is not all that bad. Then Dark Mist GX. Let's see. So this is again the GX. Remember, you can use 1 GX between all your Pokemon during a game. And this one says, put one of your opponent's bench Pokemon, all cards attached to it, into your opponent's hand. So that might come in handy. I'm not sure if this. I mean, these sound very Greninja-y things to have in the trading card game. But I don't know how much they go with this particular character. There might have been more than one Greninja in there, but you get the idea with that. So I'm not sure about that. But anyway, weakness to grass ×2. No resistance. Retreat cost of 1. Greninja usually a very low retreat cost Pokemon, and this is no exception. So let's see. I think that might have been, yep. So that's the last one I had in that folder. Let me go ahead and see here. Go back to, there we go. And let's see, okay. And okay, let's change this. Let's see. All right, so I turned off the screen there for just a moment. Let me get another one on there. So we've got some other, there's actually like 4 folders. There were 2 I definitely wanted to go over though. Let's see here. Pokemon Center. That's the folder. I don't really want the thing there. Let me see what happens if I close the. Give me a second here. Okay, application window. What do we got here? Oh, that's interesting. Not sure why it's not giving me that. Give me a second here. Appreciate your patience. Let's see. Okay, now let's do open with Windows Photo Viewer. There we go. All right, now hopefully this gives me the option here to, yes, there we go. So let's go ahead and share this one. So this is the Detective Pikachu Deerstalker hat. The Deerstalker, I'm not really sure. It sounds obviously like some sort of hunting thing. It's not really. I think the only reason it's around today is that it's obviously heavily associated with Sherlock Holmes in the in Victorian England and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. I can't see the back. I assume it must have the Detective Pikachu either on the inside of the hat or the back. Other than to show it's just a Pikachu hat or a Pikachu ears on a Deerstalker hat. Cute. I will absolutely give it that. But I'm not sure how much else I have to say there. Let's take a look at the next thing we got. So yeah, fresh coffee. So it looks like there's this cafe that is featured somewhat prominently in the movie. And we've got, I guess their mascot is the is Noctowl, because, you know, people who have to stay up late at night to do stuff are sometimes referred to as night owls. And so we've got that there with this Noctowl there, and the fresh coffee, obviously emulating a neon sign there. A lot of use of neon in this, in the art for this movie. Gives it something, I guess, of a film noir look to it, or I guess is what they're going for with that. Kind of a nice hat, very dark looking, so we'll see how that goes. And yep, they are really, let's see, so it's Hi Hat Cafe. I'm not sure precisely where that, if that has anything, or does it say, is that a high, I think it's an H, Hi Hat, not High Watt. But they're making this a pretty major point, so I'm guessing a lot of the scenes in the movie take place there. That's not uncommon in this type of, like I said, detective or film noir thing. They have a lot of cafe scenes where they talk to folks or get information or stuff like that, or go over clues and evidence and stuff like that. So not all that surprising there. And you're going to be seeing more of this here. We got coffee mug, of course. Let's see, give it a second there. Actually, I might pick up one of these. I don't have a ton of warm or cold weather Pokemon clothing that I can get at. I've got obviously this shirt, undershirt selling, this T-shirt here. But you know, here in Wisconsin, as in many other parts of the world, it does get cold. Excuse me. And it would be nice to have one of these. I mean, it's not cheap. T-shirts are obviously cheaper to make. But I'll have to see if I can find one of these. Let's see. These are, by the way, from the Pokemon Center, at least now. Some of the you might be able to find in stores as the release date nears. Yes, the Hi Hat Cafe. So it's kind of interesting. From the front, if you aren't really all that familiar with Pokemon, there's a little Pokeball down at the very bottom there. Let's see. Zoom in. See the text there. There you go. There's your one little clue here that this is indeed a Pokemon product from the front. Otherwise, it's kind of stealth like that, which is kind of neat. But yeah, it's got this hooded sweatshirt or something like that. Appears to be our hoodie, is what that's sometimes called. Right. So, and this is, let's see, Hi Hat Cafe. The breakfast and lunch open 24 hours. Let's see, smoothies and berries. Anyway, so some good stuff there. And like I said, if you're in the audience or if you're looking at this later, give us a comment. Always like to know more about what you think about these things. Let's see, what do we got here? And yep, you got the, it looks like there's also, I don't know if the backpack is a thing or if that's just something they put together with all the different patches. And then you've got the little, I assume this must be a set or something that they use there, because you got the napkin holder, salt and pepper, let's see, ketchup, let's see, and then some stuff up there. Labels turn. You got berry juice with Jigglypuff on it and a couple other patches. Rhyme City Police Department, interesting. So I don't know if those patches will be things you can buy later. That would be kind of neat. Of course, you look at the little flag on the Rhyme City logo. It's got a Charizard spouting fire or smoke or something. And then you got the little trophy there for some reason. I guess there must be some sort of, even if it's not really in the movie, some sort of championship that exists in there. So, like I said, they're going. Like I said, this coffee thing is what going to be one of the main places in the movie. I'm pretty sure about that. And let's see, they do show the little wall ornament they have there. Not sure if that's really something you can buy. And then we got the female T-shirt, and we got a nice little berry juice with Jigglypuff on it. I'm sure that'll be that's a youth T-shirt. That'll be a good seller. And then we're back to the hat. All right. So let's see. Okay. And then there are so far pretty typical stuff, I would say, in regards to movie merchandising, things like that. Nothing you really wouldn't expect for a movie like this based on what we know so far. So like I said, this is sort of the initial stuff. We'll show you, let's see, I may as well show you there's a plush in one of these. Let's see here. Let's see, there's some Mega Constructs, the Mattel's basically version of Lego. And let's see, we got, look at cool. Okay, so I do want to show you this one thing here. We got, screen share. Okay, application window. All right, I did want to show you one more thing here. This is the, let's see, it's the Detective Pikachu, I guess the official plush. It doesn't look, I mean, it is Pikachu, and it's got the little hat on it. It is, like, formatted a little bit differently than maybe your standard Pikachu plush. The feet, as you can tell, are a little more abstract. I'm sure it's designed to look a little closer. The eyes are actually, I'm not sure if those, I'm assuming they're plastic, but they're, you know, in a regular Pikachu plush, they'd just be painted on, but this has a little bit more of a lifelike, I guess you could say, look to there. And looking kind of forward to seeing one of these. Not sure I'm going to pick one of these up, but I like to see something a little bit different. The hands are a little bit as well. They're very differently proportioned than you would see with the normal Pikachu paws, front paws, or whatever in a regular Pikachu. And that's kind of what's going on there. Let's get some water there. But yeah, so that's what they had to say there. Let's see. I think there were some, if I remember correctly, there were some notes in there. Let me see if they, I don't know if they included the PDF on that. There's a whole press release you can take a look at. Like I said, oh, okay. Detective Pikachu, TCG Pikachu fact sheet. Okay, so they did include some information here. Da-da-da. So let me look that up. Just wait for the PDF to come up here. It's taking its time. Any day now. In any case, let's see. Give that a few seconds. Let's see. All right, give it a second to switch back. There we are. But while I'm pushing those up, like I said, as far as I know, these are going to be tournament legal. Let's see what we got here. And okay, let's. I don't need to check out the new version of Acrobat Reader. Thanks. Okay. It gives you some stuff about the prices are going to range US. $10 to $25. I'm guessing like the booster packs, if they sell those individually, will be relatively cheap, and then like the case files will probably be like $20 to $25. Fully playable in Pokemon TCG battles. So that was the question the person in the audience had. According to this PDF fact sheet, of all of these things are going to be totally legal in the regular TCG. Be interesting to see how many of them, if any, make it into competitive play. You know, with these promotional card things, you never know what you're going to get there. Sometimes it happens. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if one or two of them. I'm not sure exactly how many cards there are. Let's see. This stuff comes out. Let's see. Let me just punch this up. Let's see this fact sheet. So you can see some of what I'm looking at here. Okay, application window. Okay. There you go. So yeah, this is what they give you here for some of this stuff. Let's see. Be careful about. Let's see. I don't think there's anything too top secret in here. But they explain March 29th, 2019. So end of March is when these are supposed to come up. That's not too unusual. Okay, you got this case file. So this Pikachu one is relatively cheap. The Charizard and the Greninja ones, I assume, are more expensive just because they're bigger. We've got more stuff. Let's see. Collector chest. I called it a lunchbox. Let's see. But it does have some TCG stuff inside of it, as you can see. But it sort of gives the idea. All this information is pretty much in the things there. So more or less what you would expect. So that's kind of what's going on with the Detective Pikachu merchandise. Like I said, more to come, I'm sure. They may well be doing like a fast food tie-in with whoever. I'm not sure who Warner Bros. Typically works with, but I wouldn't be surprised if, like the older movies, they did some sort of fast food tie-in. Probably find out about that soon. Like the big thing I want to hear about is the soundtrack. Who's going to be on there? I was a little bit surprised when Ariana Grande posted out that tweet about how she spent so much time the last day or so playing Let's Go Eevee, which was a fun kind of thing to hear. I was wondering if that was just something that came up, or if maybe she does have she could very well have a song in this movie. You never know we don't really know what they're going for. Maybe at least it's the second trailer. Obviously, they used Happy Together in the first trailer, but we'll have to see where they go from there. But yeah, more to come. Let me know if you'd like to see more of these as time goes on. Like to inform me, even though, yes, this is a press release, that's stuff that the press agency for the Pokemon Company sent me, kind of in hopes I would kind of share here, but I find it quite interesting. Beyond that, let's talk about what's going on with the channel. We have a few more minutes here in this half-hour block or so. Let's see. So a few weeks ago, Ann and I, like just before the end of the year, recorded the discussion of the music of the Keldeo movie. Excuse me there. And again. But anyway, we recorded the discussion. I sent her files. I haven't really heard much from her since. I did want to find out from her. This is not set in stone, but I'd like to do a live stream when we discuss. Our next discussion is going to be, excuse me again, The Power of Us. Since that's out, and by the way, that's out digitally right now. You can pick that up, but the DVD and Blu-ray come out in March. I forget the exact date, but it's on Amazon if you want to take a look there. Pokemon themselves hasn't put anything in there, but Amazon has a listing for it. But anyway, I want to try and do that live, but I have to work that out with her, so no guarantees. Like I said, she tends to kind of go off the grid periodically. I'm sure she's probably fine still out there, but I'll hopefully she'll be getting that up soon. Aside from that, let's see. Recently, I got up the previous discussion, the teeny one. I finally got the last part of that up on Friday. If you haven't heard that yet, it is in the podcast feed, of course, but you can check that out. And then what else have I got? Oh, that's right. Yesterday, I put up a nice little update video. You may remember the old WTPT podcast, and I put up a little update. Turns out both of those guys are now running new podcasts. One of them is a Nintendo Switch-based podcast, and the other one is about Pokemon Go in New York City. So check out that little very short video there. And also, I was given permission to put up a couple episodes, and I did that a few years ago. So those are all up there and available. As far as the next thing, I'm looking into some new interviews. Let's see, next month is Anime Milwaukee. They have a few Pokemon-related folks there, some of whom I've already seen. Vic Mignogna is going to be there again. Of course, he did the Keldeo, he did the voice of Keldeo. And we did a thing with him a couple of years ago when he was there. But I think I heard that he also did some voices in The Power of Us, so maybe we can get a little snippet of that. But that's still almost a month away at this point. I am looking into going to the big internationals in Berlin, Germany in late April. We know it's in Berlin. We just don't know the exact venue and stuff. We know the dates. So hopefully we get more information on that. I'm going to have to request, vacation from work and stuff like that, because this is not my day job. I have a regular old day job as a computer programmer. But that's sort of some of the stuff that's coming up here. And, I really appreciate you, especially those of you who stuck around to the very end of this. And thanks. And just keep watching the channel and subscribe if you haven't, all that good stuff. All right, folks. Thanks.